go through week 22. It's only 2 days, one full day, and then there's 2 parts to our January 22nd, but these are approximately 151 days all the way up to 154 days post-operation. But let's get into it. I also have some additional information I'll put up on the screen related to the force weight data that we gathered. This is only going to be from the second day, so January 22nd. Hit some major milestones this day, and also going to show some contextual metrics, not just the jump height. Jump height's awesome and everything, but the reason you have force plates isn't to assess jump height. It's to assess the metrics that make up that jump height. So let's get into it. Starting the video now. So we start off with these bridges in a plantar flex position, single leg. These were stellar for both the left and the right. Yes, this is about 10x speed. I got a major cramp on my left side, my good side, and it scared the crap out of me for next 2 days. I'm like, okay. And it wasn't in any, it was more like the junction area, like no muscular tissue itself. It was really, really weird. Anyway, I'm feeling great now. We're many weeks past this. Right now it's March 10th, the day of recording this, so we're quite a few months behind. But I'm repping out in a lot of these videos, so don't worry, as if you were worried. We have some marches, all that fun stuff. Little pogos, first time really getting off the ground, and then starting to do some varying foot placement, changing the vector, of which that force is being initiated in relative to my body mass. That was a good jump right there. You gotta say that was decent. That one was too. January 19th. And then we have some depth drops. We have a handful of these depth drops. About 75% of them are either these bilateral ones and or the healthy side, left side. This is the first time I'm doing any depth drops in a very long time, and getting reacquainted with this movement pattern, both bilaterally as well as unilaterally, even on the healthy leg, was like, okay, we had to relearn this movement, these patterns, neuromuscular patterns of firing in order to properly brace. Now I'm looking at kind of a self-assessment as I'm doing it, as well as a video. I'm looking at what level of general ankle, knee, and hip flexion I'm allowing, as these have obviously a very large play in how much force is being dissipated up the kinetic chain and how we're kind of displaying that force, because we have to provide equal and opposite force in order for us to gain our balance back and stabilize. So very interesting stuff. Right side is looking a little bit better, although I am employing some strategies here. As you can tell with my hip taking a little bit more than I want to, but this is the first time. So either way, I'm happy I got to reintroduce the movement itself, which felt great. Starting to feel more and more like an athlete this time. 151 days post-op, so not too shabby. All right, and now into January 22nd, so 154 days post-op. We got some movements in the sports performance area here at Razor Sharp Fitness, and then I moved to the gym to do some jumps. Now, I don't like changing the ground material in terms of if it's cement or if it's basketball court, because you can have different readings on the force plate, and we're going to take that with a grain of salt, as well as from the test. I did not do a good job at making sure that my data quality in terms of my movement quality at standing, the stance phase, unweighting phase, or quiet phase, was consistent as much as I wanted it to be. You got to make sure that you are doing things to a T in order to make sure you have great quality data. And I fell short of that during this day. That's okay. If it'd be one thing for me to go about that, I didn't mean to. But looking back after the data, I'm like, okay, gotta take it with a grain of salt. And it's also okay because I'm not just looking at one day of data. In order for that data to have like any value, I had to have some contextual clues in terms of the trends over time. And that's actually what we're gonna look at in here in just a second. And I am doing some pulses here, both at seated and standing position. Make sure I'm still talking about the video here. But I am gonna put on a little video of the iPad doing some pogos here. They're feeling good. Some reverse lunges with some weight, as well as some multi-direction hops back and forth. See the difference between the left and the right in terms of where that midfoot toes, toeing off, um, even the breaking of it, of the movement itself, has some room to grow. And then we have some super maximal um, eccentrics, 2 up, 1 down, added some weight with it as well. Got up to 25, 35, and 45, I believe, but we'll watch it play out here. As I'm doing that, we're going to talk about the trends that we're going to see starting now. The first movement. So some of the things that we saw, improvement of jump height. So at this time, we're seeing some trends upwards from, I guess we have information all the way to March 2nd. So kind of jumping in the future here, but something to look forward to. We have trends upwards of the jump height, which is always good. It's cool. Breaking rated force development's gone up. Now, that can be a good thing, but also we need some context to how we look at that number. So it's great that I'm able to provide greater force during that eccentric phase, which is great, and I'm also really focused on that. My average relative propulsive power has gone up, but my average relative braking power has gone down, which is super interesting. Now we get into the jumps of our part 2 as we see on the screen. My MSRI has gone up. So my modified reactive strength index, which is a helpful tool with counter jump, since we can't really have that. We can't do the RSI with the counter jump, so modified reactive strength index. But then my stiffness is going down, which can be one of two things. And we can help ourselves by looking at, here it is, the very bottom right of the page, we see counter jump depth. And of course, I try showing you the screen here, but you can't see anything. The camera wouldn't focus. Our counter jump depth has gone down significantly. It's actually off the page, which means I'm initiating greater predicted depth, because it can't measure me. It's not a motion capture system. I'm allowing myself to get deeper, probably because of the increased range of motion of the dorsiflexion, as well as being more reestablished. And the video is about to end right about now. We're going to keep talking. The force at minimum displacement has gone up significantly, which is great. Also going to go hand in hand if I'm allowing myself to go deeper. And also, I'm about 202 pounds now. I need to lower it. I know I've been saying that, but I need to lower it. My strength's coming back too, so that's my main objective right now, and I'm feeling good. But we're going to slowly start to decrease that, especially as we get into the summer months and be a little bit more active outside. I can't really use Alter G when it's this cold out. It's already failed me a few times, but left or right, peak braking force, we want to see this, and this is a percentage number. So a negative number would be more towards the left, positive number would be more towards the right. We want to stay at 0 possible. We have a pretty large scatter here for both the left or right peak braking force percentage as well as the left or right propulsive impulse index. But the index one we see as a downward trend going back towards 0, so that's good. Now it's all over the place, so I'm going to keep that where it is and kind of keep an eye on it later on. But yeah, let's look at the actual test themselves. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit, look at the test. Now, in terms of the data quality that I talked about earlier, you can tell right here, I have some deviations, some movement. What are you doing, JC? I don't know. So that's something about the data quality aspect of things that I need to improve on, or just be more cognizant of it. If I would have saw this in real time and like noticed it in real time, I would have been like, no, it does not count. I don't even care if it's my highest jump. It does not count. That's one of the really good jumps too. I had a few over 20 at the time. But we have some improvements. 21.23, counter movement depth on this day was significantly up. 25.2% change since the injury. Braking rate of force development on this jump was up 125.2%. Force minimum displacement was up 40.7. A lot of improvements here. Impulse ratio. See, this is where we see the differences between loading strategy. Now, ultimately, it did give a greater output in terms of output being jump height. But time to take off. Let's see how long it took me. Time. It decreased by 9.8%. So 0.69 seconds. We need to increase that a little bit. Oh, that's not bad. It's not bad. I need to increase a little bit more. Pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. Thank you for watching. if you got to this point in the video. I know it's a very long video. I'm going to turn this off now. Thank you for watching. It's spring break here right now for me, so I'm knocking out a few of these videos. This is the second one I'm doing today.